Hello and welcome, guys. Welcome to Truth Behind the Truth. Good to see you guys today. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in and joining us as we do our wonderful show again today, this week. Coming back to you with the Actor Symposium. I mean, all of our great and wonderful actors that we're having to be a part of this wonderful show.
Most definitely.
I'm so excited. We got one of the best coming to you tonight. I'm so thrilled, to have actor Diana West with us tonight on the show. Affectionately, we all call her in the industry Mama D.
Mama D.
She always has a great word for us, great inspiration and all that. But we'll get more with her accolades just when we bring her on. Guys, thank you again for tuning in tonight. The Truth Behind the Truth. Hey, what's going on?
I am awesome. I feel awesome. I feel great. I feel woke.
Okay.
You know what? It's so funny. Even this past week it's been kind of crazy. We're out here in LA, everybody. So those who have followed us from Atlanta, we're now based here in LA. And let me tell you, y'all, climate-wise, it has been it's been different.
Yes.
But on top of that, we just had an earthquake.
Yes.
That I did not even feel, but he felt it, but I did not feel it.
4.5. Wow. Yeah, 4.5. I was literally sitting on the sofa watching television last night, and all of them was, put it on. I was like, what the heck? I was like, whoa. But you know what? You kind of get past that moment and you kind of move on. I was like, wow. But the amazing thing, like I told you today about this, is that it was like a nonchalant thing with everybody. On the news, they were like, oh, it was like a 4.5. I'm like, okay. They're like, no big thing. You're like, we're used to this,
Let me tell you something. Coming from the South,
right.
You can tell by the sound of my voice that I am from the South.
Right.
So it's no hiding it.
Right.
But coming from Alabama, when you come from a situation where you deal with rain, tornadoes,
right.
hurricanes, floods, whatever you call it, this scenario is totally different. It's
right.
nothing you can actually hide from. You can shield yourself from because you're just in the midst. To be honest with you, it's just something that I have not experienced yet. But it was so funny when I went to work last night. Everybody kept telling me, we just had an earthquake. I'm like, well, John had called me and told me about it, but I did not feel it because I was in my car. Right. But it's just certain things you think about, like, God, I'm actually out here on the West Coast, and we're dealing with earthquakes. I haven't felt a particular one yet, but the fact is, I've been, this has been a different experience. Right. But like I say, this past week has been, there has been a shift. But I want to say all is well. We're safe. We're good. Thank God that He has covered over us and protected us from all this stuff, right. that's been going on, and from the COVID, which is still going on, people. Right. So put on your mask.
Right. Put on your what? Like I always say, put on your damn mask.
Put on your damn mask.
Right.
Put on your mask, people.
Right,
COVID is still out here, and
it is.
Also, go vote.
Exactly.
Go vote.
Exactly.
Regardless of what affiliation that you are in, go vote.
Right. Definitely. I want to take a moment to welcome our YouTube guests as well. YouTube Live. We thank you for tuning in on our YouTube side. We appreciate you guys hitting us all over the world at this particular point in time, England and everywhere else. So Truth Behind Truth is really growing, spreading the message of authenticity. Yes. Our goal is what we always say, teaching humanity the beauty of authenticity. And we try to do that in everywhere we can. This is, like I said, leading into the series of shows that we're doing right now with these wonderful active friends of ours that are being interviewed and telling their life stories, telling how their authenticity has helped them propel themselves in their careers and what they're doing in the industry as well.
And touching on authenticity,
yes.
Today I had a particular person in my life who was going through a phase in her life. And if she's watching, I want her to know that regardless of what you're going through, keep pushing through.
Right.
Authenticity, being yourself is not the easiest, but it will soothe your soul.
That's right.
Because it will let those who know you, who love you, regardless of where they stand, know who you are.
True.
And just push past it. You are a strong individual. You are authentic. And I want to let everybody else know, authenticity is not the easiest thing to do. We all want people's approval.
True, exactly.
And that's the thing that as human beings, it's a hard, let's just say it's a hard boundary to get over somebody else's approval. But we must live our own lives. We only have, I hate to say we only have one life to live, because I believe that life is everlasting. This is just a shell. And I hate to get into my spiritual realm, but this is just a shell.
Yes.
Life to me is everlasting. Regardless of where you stand in this life, you must live and explore your life. And you must not look for somebody else's approval.
Right.
If you do, you will always be stunted.
Exactly.
And mentally, physically, you will always be stunted. So we do want you to know authenticity is the key to your life.
Absolutely.
Go live your life.
Absolutely, please. Definitely. I mean, and if they're in need of encouragement, from the individual that you're speaking to, there's a book that if you go back and search several hours, probably about maybe, I don't know, show 8 or someone like that. We did it on an interview with Tara Cole. There's a great book that she has out as well. It's too long but what is it? Real Talk. Mm-hmm. Real Talk. Just pursue that book. It will really tell you a lot of things, and help you understand, I think, where you're going through with with your questions and things of that nature. Yes. But one more thing about Host Chat, we before we get into bringing my dear heart on for tonight, we want to talk about that idiot.
Oh no!
Oh my God!
No, we don't want to talk about it.
Oh God, we have to bring it up. Just to kind of stay informed.
Gracious.
How low can you go? I mean, really, how low can you go? Definitely want to take a minute for a brief pause for justice that just passed.
Yes, the
Supreme Justice that just passed. Just want to take a minute, and just pay homage to her and all that she has done, and to propel just the right things in society, and we're really hoping that her replacement will just be just as credible in that. So just want to take a minute and just, send, warm thoughts and warm wishes to her family and her transition, and so respectively, in her, her transition, what she's done. So, but so we just want to take a minute for that. Okay.
And her name was Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yes,
y'all. That's who we are.
So we really appreciate what she's done and things of that nature. But again, and we won't spend a whole lot of time on political points tonight.
Yeah.
But just the fact that she just transitioned no more than 24 hours ago, basically, mm-hmm. and these idiots in Washington have already have made this a political event. I'm just so outdone with the way that this country, the leaders of this country, have where they are and trying to push an agenda. No respect at law. It's just it's no respect. She has not even been buried, cremated, whatever her family's going to do with her body at this particular point in time. They are already making this a political event, and that I call it BI McConnell. It's just ridiculous. I really hope, guys, when we talk about voting, get these people out of these offices, okay? Please.
And please not only vote in the executive level, there's every 2 years, these senators and congressmen hold their spot in whatever house and whatever party they hold.
Right.
Y'all, I understand that, the presidential election is very important. Right. It is important, but you must also go vote for your senators and your congressmen, because those are the people who make the laws of this land. The president, the governor, or the mayor only agree to disagree whatever law that they sign or they sign off on. You must go and vote for your senators and congressmen as well as your president.
Right.
So people, if you do not like I say, do your research. Either whatever party affiliation that you're on,
yes,
go do your research. This is your life. Right. If you don't like the way your health insurance benefits are coming, if you don't like the way your jobs are treating you,
yes,
because right now I feel like in the political scope they're treating this as a corporate situation. Right. This woman had just passed, and they're thinking about displacing or putting her they're putting somebody else in her place. Mm-hmm. It's like somebody on whatever job that you work, you're just a number.
Right.
And that philosophy of if you leave, you will be replaced.
Right.
what at the end of the day, I feel like with this situation, there must be a difference in who we pick for our judges, because it does change the lives of people.
It does.
So, if you are of any type of minority, any type of religious affiliation, any type of sexuality, this is important for your life.
True.
Just saying,
Absolutely.
do your research, but also go vote.
Absolutely.
Go vote.
Can't stress it enough. Cannot stress enough. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in tonight with us. We want to remind you to go to the Truth Behind the Truth page to order your t-shirts. Okay, he's got his on. I had mine on last week. He has his on this week. So go to the Truth Behind the Truth page, order your t-shirts. Please order your t-shirts. All right. And if you have not shared the Truth Behind the Truth page via our YouTube or our Truth Behind the Truth page, please go ahead and do that. Share with your friends. Get the word out there. We're out here to, as we said, bring authenticity. But in so many different ways, that we're providing that for everybody. Guys, I want to thank you again for tuning in. We're going to come back right after this commercial break with our wonderful guest tonight. My heart, everybody give it a doctor. I'm going to call it Dr. Diana West. All right. We'll be back with you guys just for a few minutes. All right, and we're back. Hey, thank you guys. Thank you for tuning in with us. To welcome you back to Truth Behind the Truth, spreading the word of authenticity throughout the world. And that's what we're doing. Yes. Guys, we want to go ahead and get on into tonight's wonderful interview with my dear heart, now become Diana's dear heart, as well. Affectionately in the industry, we do call her Mama D. But I want to bring to you guys one of the most awesome actors that is in the industry, has been a part of this industry for quite some time, sharing her points of wisdom on and behind and in front of the camera. You can see her in quite a few shows on the Up channel. She's an executive over at the Up channel as well. All of the Johnson Christmas specials and things like that were on Up channel. Go back and view them. It's going to be coming in Christmas time again. Go back and see all those wonderful shows and see how that has been so inspiring to so many people. And we'll talk about that a little bit more when we bring her on. But I want to bring my dear heart, Miss Diana West, actor. Wonderful, Diana West. Yay. Hello.
Yeah. How are you all doing?
Good. Woo, we're good.
Glad to see you, my Mama D.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me, baby and Dylan. This is great, and I already see some of my folk making comments.
You're wonderful.
That's
awesome. See the comments, but I can see them.
Good. Excellent. Glad to hear that. Definitely, guys. I mean, that is so good. I'm just feel honored that you took time out of your day and your time to spend some time with us to talk about this industry and yourself and where things are going and all of that wonderful stuff. I have to bring up real quick before we get into that. It's just how when you and I connected over the phone and just what this symposium, as I'm calling it, putting it together, what it means to all of us as actors. And how at the end of this, as we come back for the big Zoom and we're all together, that we'll be able to share and exchange and build a better network, you know, and where we can have greater content that's coming out of us. Because I'm putting it this way, 2021 gonna be off the chain.
Yes.
Okay. I love it.
Yes.
Yes, it's got to be. You know, the one thing I think that I'll bring up real quick is that maybe we'll start off with this and we'll share back and forth. Tell me how your 2020 vision came into this year for yourself. What was your expectations originally before COVID hit?
Coming into 2020, before.
Yes.
Well, first of all, coming into 2020 on January 27th, 2020, I turned 70. So
no way! Happy birthday, belated!
I said that on purpose because I wanted you to say something about me.
Okay. Yes. Oh my! Oh wow!
Yeah. So I turned 70. My wonderful family. My daughter, Dr. Nicole Howard, she's sending all kind of, you can look on there.
Yes, I can see her. Hey, Nicole.
My daughter Danielle and my son Philip and my hubby were the children, and all of them got together and they just threw an amazing 70th birthday party in Los Angeles. My oldest daughter, Nicole lives there, in, with my son-in-law and my grandkids. They live in Corona. And so they work together, all the kids, grown adults. I hate to call them children because they're my grown children got together. So that for me, coming into 2020 and turning 70 was like, wow, I couldn't believe it when I turned 30 and then 40 and then 50, now 70. And so just that celebration, I knew, okay, you kicking high, girl, you come on, you're going to do your thing. And then unbeknownst, that was right at the time, it was like the day after the party that they threw for me in kind of sort of Long Beach out there. They next day, that's when Kobe, when I got the news, I'm sitting in, and when he died in the plane crash, of course, I can't say you all remember, but that was like the day after my celebration. And so I'm sitting there and I'm saying, okay, this is like the day after my birthday, and just coming from such an amazing high, and all of the amazing guests that were invited, and and then here this hits. My granddaughter and I were having breakfast in the hotel, and I thought, I'm sure many of you, when I saw that, I was looking at my phone.
Exactly. Couldn't believe it.
Wow.
These Negroes are playing out here.
The same thing. I did the same thing.
Seeing somebody done died. To get and it was just, it gripped all of our hearts. So
it did.
Get into that, and then all my plans for in this year of 2020 was to keep being authentically me, and taking no prison, just marching on and doing what God has purposed me to do, and to be who God has purposed me to be. And to I believe you said earlier, we fall down. You didn't use these words, but to get back, just keep getting up,
Exactly.
And feeling comfortable in your skin, and as you said, to stay woke. I'm woke, and that's everybody just meant because you had a nap earlier that you were woke like that.
Exactly.
I know what my daughter in the comments, what she meant about being woke, that 2020 has awakened all of it.
Yes, it has.
We thought we have been. It has awakened all of us.
Yes.
Now we're in a whole new phase, and being in a place of lockdown, working remotely since in March, in the companies I work for, and here we are. Has anything changed in my quest for the life that God has blessed me with and the gifts that He has deposited in me? No, nothing ain't changed. But during this time, we have to take time to really reassess and say, okay, I'm coming out stronger, wiser,
Yes.
better,
Yes.
so much better. Y'all heard that song before.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
I never could have made it, never should have
Right.
made it.
Never should have. Right.
Stuff I did in life, but I'm still in 2020 knowing that we're coming out of this.
Right.
We're going to.
Exactly.
We're going to come out of this
Exactly.
better.
Well, you know,
Exactly.
You know, it's beautiful. I mean, to hear what you're saying, and of course, the celebration coming into 2020. The one thing that I'm hearing in your voice is that, in spite of what the circumstances have been around, you know, you and us, you have not lost your 2020 vision. You know, and that is something that I think that so many people have lost their 2020 vision, because even though you see things clearly, you know, you had you know, and so many people have not allowed that 2020 vision to see things clearly, because their focus has been clouded by all the other things that are around them. You know, but you know, but you have to really pull yourself into the fact that, hey, whether you put on like you just put on a new pair of glasses, or however it is to make your vision clear, you know what I'm saying? That should have been your focus the whole time. You know, COVID came as a distraction to your 2020 vision, you know, and it was a horrible distraction at the end of the day, you know. But at the end of the day, how are you going to allow this to pull yourself back into your 2020 vision? Because if you can't see yourself clearly coming out of this year, you surely won't be prepared for what's happening next year.
Yes, true.
Right,
You know?
right. Don't lose your don't let anything blindside you. Don't lose your vision.
Exactly. You know,
Without a vision, we perish.
that's true. Exactly. Bottom line. Hey, okay.
You know what?
Go ahead.
You know, Miss-
Okay.
But you know what, Miss West, Dr. West, I want to say, I feel like, you know, passively I've been following you, and not in a way of following, you know, passively, meaning that not even knowing you, I have been following you all of my life in some aspects. There's a Mel Brooks film.
Okay.
Because I'm an old film person. I love old films. Mel Brooks film, Blazing Saddles, was one of my favorite films growing up. And actually, it was my twin brother who turned me on to that film, because I thought I saw every Mel Brooks film, but I did not see that film in its entirety. When I was doing my research, I said, there's a connection right here. The connection was the sibling of that show. Your brother starred in that movie. He also took the place of Richard Pryor, which people don't know. Richard Pryor was originally supposed to star in that film.
Right.
But I kept saying to myself, oh my goodness, Clavon Little is your brother. I was like, tell me, was that the influence? Was he or something else the influence for you to be where you are, to be the actress that you are, or to have some type of active duty in this entertainment film? Was he the influence, or was there other influences?
Well, I was born into it.
Yeah.
I already was gifted.
Yeah.
You could say he was a mentor and sort of the person that God helped to assign to carry me along into what had already been ordained when I was formed in my mama's womb. So he was, like I said, we all need somebody who will, as my mother would say, just retch back and pull them up, to reach back and to hold on and hold their hand and help them to get through. So that being said, he was influential in that respect, but it wasn't that I wasn't already gifted and destined. And Dylan, you can call me doctor. I don't have that degree, but there is a doctor in the comments, my husband and my daughter. My husband is online. That's James. You see him. I got you all because I'm trying to read all these comments.
Right.
I told him to join and watch and pray for me, but they wrote, and Danielle, look, my Danielle is a woman of few words. You see Danielle, and she says, hey, mama, That's all. That's all the rest of the night. She probably eating somewhere, eating some food or something. But so my brother, and we talked earlier before the show when we were talking about the people transitioning and in the song, and he passed from colon cancer, and so he's just, a lot of people didn't know that until after the fact, because when he was going through all of the surgery and all of the stuff that he had to go through, he was living in New York, but when he started to get really sick, he wanted to be home and closer to family. So my brother Roy is in California. Roy and my sister was in California at that time. She's Rosemary, she's in Atlanta now. And so we were all there at that time in California, and we just surrounded him and walked the 9 months that he was given less than that, but he held on for that long. And so he is certainly a great star, a great actor. Got a Tony for Pearly Victorious. He did the play. I was very fortunate. Was asked by a playwright here and some producers. They brought that play to Atlanta, and when I say brought, they were already here, and they cast me into that. And I kind of broke down during rehearsal, and actually when the show was performed, because the gentleman Ron Edward, he played Pearly, he played my brother, and he must have studied, because as I was sitting there watching him preach during the scene of, and I just like jacked me up when I tell you. It was okay. It was a part of the scene. I had to play it off. I was in the spirit, because I was in church, you know.
Right, exactly.
But so yes, there is that connection, and people, as they dig and learn more about me, like, what? So
that was, I'm glad you did, because I didn't, much as we have talked, I didn't know that. Thank you for sharing that.
I mean,
gosh.
It's just so, it's wonderful that, and not only that, but WB, your connection with WB Television Entertainment, it was just, I said, I actually, not knowing this woman, I grew up with this woman's presence or to participation in my life. That, it was just, I kept saying, wow. But on top of that, you have this ministry, which we're going to touch on later. But being in this industry and also on the religious factor, does that play a role in whatever work that you choose as an actress? Because you also played in the movie Preacher's Kid and some other, stuff that has that scenario over it. Does that go hand in hand with your ministry, and does that influence your work? I think that's what I wanted to ask.
It goes hand in hand with not so much my ministry or me being religious, because I'm not religious. I'm a Christian, and I'm born again. I'm saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost, fire baptized, for real. That's just, I know, people will say, I'm just saying it. That's who I am. So in answer to your question, because of my conviction and the life that I try to lead each and every day to please and to honor and to glorify God, I am selective about anything, any roles or anything, not just in the industry, even in ministry in certain churches. I remember one time, this is a church that were operating in witchcraft, if I can put it that way. And I'm like, I don't know if I could feel. I don't want that to get up on, and that was way a long time ago, but I'm still in that place. But as far as in the industry, I can tell you that there have been auditions in my 45 years of being in this industry, if not more, that I'd see an audition and I would tell my agent, I can't do that.
Gotcha.
And even though it was a big role and I probably would have booked it, but I just don't. I don't think I can. And so I turned them down. But here's an interesting story.
Mhm.
I was cast in Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, y'all remember that? I was really looking 70 in that movie because I had had about 5 or 10 more pounds on me, and then they had no makeup. I always like to beat my face with makeup every day. So don't think y'all that you special because I got makeup on today. My kids and I put makeup
But you
on.
look good.
You
look fabulous. You look good. You are not losing no rest. You look great. Oh my goodness gracious.
Okay, I'm not
Less
fishing
than
for
highly favored.
Okay, let me get back to the story. Okay, so I got cast for this movie, and I had Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, and you all know the list of actors that were in that movie, from Martin Lawrence to Cedric to Nicole Irene to Monique to Michael Epps to you just name them. Michael Clark Duncan, all of them. And so I had lines, even though eventually when the movie came out, they had cut a lot of lines. You know what happens? You got to just hope you make it off the cutting room floor.
Maybe I know.
But during the time we were filming it in Shreveport, Louisiana, there was a scene where I'll never forget. The executive director, he died because I can't. Anyway, he asked me to come over. He said, Miss Addie, that was my character name. He said, Miss Addie, come here a minute. And I said, I went over. This was my first big movie, and I came over, and he said, now when Michael Clark hits Martin Lawrence. And if you guys go back and see the movie, you'll see the scene where I think Martin says something smart about Michael's son, and he clocks him. And Martin hits the ground, and he said, I want you to look down, and I want you to say, you, and I ain't gonna say it now, because it will have to be bleep, but you'll get what I'm saying.
Okay.
Not the F, that bad word out.
Right. Yeah.
And I was supposed to, because that was my character, was kind of slinging, like, y'all stop me from flinging my hair. I'm acting like Patti LaBelle did when her these wigs be getting all in your face. It was like flipping, when I tell stories, I go over, but she kept flipping, and I said, Patty, I'm talking to will you stop doing that? And she had a mirror up like this, and her hair and stuff. I'm like, girl, take some estrogen and knock them flashes out. So, back to my story. So, we just got knocked the boom out, and I started going. I did like this to him. I said, I can't. I just can't. He said, okay. You know what? I'm gonna remember his name. One of my kids or my husband, somebody put his name up here. The one who was the producer of Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins, and Spike Lee's cousin. He did the best
man.
Yeah. Malcolm Lee, my boy.
Malcolm Lee, okay, yeah.
So I said, it's okay. And so I went back to my trailer and I said, okay, they about to fire me off this job. They about to fire me because I said to the big man, I can't do that. But God, I called my daughter in LA, and she told me the significance of that particular phrase was in Friday, the movie, that big. And she kind of said, well, Mom, that was big. I mean, she loves the Lord too, but she was thinking in terms of how I could make some good money. But she said, Mom, that was big. And I said, well, where's the big from? She told me that comes from Friday. And then my other daughter, Danielle, who loves the Lord too, she's crazy anyway. And when I told her what they wanted me to say, she said, the devil is a liar. I don't say you just got, but I didn't. And and Nicole, my daughter, don't call me saying that I'll put you down. No, I know you love the Lord, but you were in a different Anyway, so I the next day went back, did our thing, and it ended up how God really honored that and honored me. because my time was extended
Wow.
on
Oh,
set, which
wow.
meant-
Wow.
and it was
Right.
extended
Right.
more. And beyond that, I'm still reaping benefits
Wow.
from
Yes.
that movie. That I had
Yes.
no idea from the little contract that I signed that
Right.
I would be reaping residuals
Residuals.
off
Uh-huh.
the DVD, off of the stuff that was sold. And my first check that came through, I thought it
Wow.
was one of those sweepstake checks. I said,
Oh, I love it. Yes.
my husband had taken the mail out, and he just kind of handed it to me when he's driving, past the driveway, and I opened it up, and I had to show him, James, is this real? He said, I said, what is it for? And it was for the sale of all, and it just kept coming. I'm not talking about hundreds, thousands.
Wow.
Coming in. I said, God, he said, you're faithful. God will tell us that we're faithful.
Yes.
I'm saying that
Yes.
we have to be faithful over everything that he plants into our lives.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we know that we're here for a purpose. So in
Yes.
answer to all of that, yes, I am very selective about the stuff that I do. God will let me see into some sides of a script that I might have to only get to see the sides, and that's what I
Yes.
have.
Right.
But God will let me know what else, because they don't give you the full script, and I'm like,
Right. Exactly.
it don't feel right. I feel like I might have to take some clothes off, and I know some folk want to see this beautiful fat body, this full. I'm not doing nudity. I'm not showing my stuff for $1 million.
Right. Exactly.
$1 million might make me do it and ask God to forgive me. $1 trillion, I might show something. And
Right.
ask
So
anyway.
maybe a shoulder, right?
You see little teensy ninety of that. I don't even ask for all that, but
No, please. That's beautiful.
That's beautiful.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick commercial. We're going to come right back and dig into some more, because I really want to ask you about just how it evolved and starting out as an actor, and as you say, those short 45 years ago. Okay, we'll be right back in just a second. All right.
okay.
back. We are definitely back. Want to remind everybody about that vote. You know, get out there and vote. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to Truth Behind the Truth. Yeah. Remind you also to go to Truth Behind the Truth page, get that t-shirt, get that t-shirt. We are joined with my dear heart tonight as our wonderful guest by, we would call her Dr. Diana West. Okay? Yeah. But I mean, doctrine comes with wisdom, you know, at the end of the day. And then, you know, the wisdom that you're even pouring out tonight is just so powerful. So as I said before we went into the break, you know, want to talk about those short 45 years ago that you broke out in the industry, and tell us a little bit about that if you don't mind.
Okay, so I broke out.
Uh-huh.
I broke out. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I broke out of my mother's womb, first of all. That's how.
Yes, okay.
And,
right.
I always, it's in my blood. It's always been in my blood.
Yes.
As I begin to you know, go through my years of growth through school, yes, you would always find me in elementary school. That's what we called it. It's, I believe, middle school now. It may still be elementary school, and then to high school, junior high school, then high school. And you would always see me in plays. I would always, you were always going to find me in a choir, leading song, always active, always that was down in my blood. Even as a little girl, I remember my dad told me that one time he caught me. I wasn't doing anything bad, but I had put on one of my mother's nightgowns, one of her negligees, and I was in front of the TV thinking out, and it was dark in the room, and I was in front of the TV just dancing. Wow. And my dad came busting the room and saw me in my mama's nightgown, and he's like, "Girl, what you doing, little burlesque?" I guess that's what burlesque queens back in that day. I didn't know what it meant. I thought it was something cute that I was being called a burlesque, but all I know is that I've always been busy like that. And then going on to college. For the few years that I was in college, I majored in music, and my minor was drama. So I was always at speech.
Gotcha.
And so always doing that. My first real stage play, big stage play, I played Carl Weathers, who played Apollo Creed in Rocky, which was so odd. But way back when I was in college, he was my partner in the West Side Story.
Wow. Get out of here.
We had our side, you know, the West Side Story. So we
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Don't let my husband ever tell you the story. He thinks to this day that I am obsessed with Apollo Creed. You know what? Apollo Creed, no. Anyway, but
wasn't he Action Jackson? Yes. Action Jackson? I just want to connect the dots. Action Jackson. Yes. Okay. I'm sorry, y'all.
So I felt safe because he was one of the star football players at San Diego State College, or San Diego State University. And so as we would dance during this play, and he'd have to pick me up, and we were doing the dancing, and I just knew I wasn't going to get dropped because that hunk of chick, had me up trailing. Okay, let me make sure my husband ain't making no nasty. Anyway, so that kind of the beginning, and moving on, and then started to get very active. I was involved in beauty pageants, living in San Diego. That's where I was born.
Yes.
Doing, I ran for Miss Afro-American, not African. Did they say African? African-American at that time. And I won. I sang Nina Simone, "My skin is black."
Oh, wow.
And so I love that song.
Oh, yes.
So I won that pageant, and so I got started pageantry. Okay, pageant. So I ran in Miss Black California in LA, and I started singing, then started working in nightclubs, and then moving on from there. And then one day, a dear friend of the family who was very close to my brother, her name is Nancy Carter. Her son is an actor, wasn't acting. He was acting a lot then. Chris Carter. He did a lot of voiceover, and she and I would hang out every once in a while. And she said, "You have such a great voice."
Yes.
I thought about doing voiceover, and I said, "What is that?" That was where you can make a whole lot of money because all you have to do, they don't, no matter how you look, it's all about your voice, you know. And so she was the one, Nancy Carter was instrumental in pushing me in to that and introduced me to a producer. And I went into the studio and did a voiceover dub. Then I just sent it out to a bunch of agents in Los Angeles and then to see who would bite. And one of the ones that bit was Cunningham, Escott, and DePini. I think that, I don't even know if they're still, but it was a big agency there, and they called me and they wanted to meet with me, and they did. And I'd never done voiceover before, but they said they love my voice. Would I like to, you know, take some classes, commit to doing some classes? Of course, I was not paid for it. I said, after you take this 10-week course, then we'll sign you. You know, and I said, okay, I'm gonna do that. And I went and signed up. About a couple of classes in, I get a call from the agency, and they said, we want to send you out on an audition. And I was like, wow, oh, gosh, I gotta go online. I gotta do whatever and figure out what am I supposed to do, because I had no training. And I called my friend Nancy. So I went out, and they said they want a I forgot, you know how they want a person that sounds like, there's another word they use. They wanted me to sound like, it wasn't Whoopi Goldberg, I can't remember. But anyway, I went in, I did the little audition, and went on back about my business, and got a call the next day from the agent. Said, we have, first of all, to get you in here to sign you, you just booked a national commercial. And it was
out of here.
My first audition, a national commercial.
Get out of here.
KC Masterpiece barbecue sauce. And all I said was, and don't forget the honey mustard. Don't forget the honey mustard too. They were talking about all the different flavors. Don't forget the honey mustard too. Baby, when I tell you I made thousands of everything time that, you know, every time I went on TV, I had my daughter, my daughter and son, Danielle and Philip, who were young at that time. At that time, I said, every time you see that commercial, come on, tell me, and I'll give you 50 cents or $1, whatever.
Wow. But you know what is so interesting about that? You know, people think acting is this one lens. Actor is either on a stage or in front of a camera, but people forget that voiceover is one of the greatest things to an actor. You think of, and I'm taking it off of you, Ms. West, but you think about people like Cree Summers from A Different World, who played Freddie. You know, she has made a career in doing voiceovers and animations and stuff of that nature, and she has made, you know, her residuals like you. You know, I would say back in the early late 70s and early 80s, I think, you know, singers as like Luther Vandross and Whitney Houston and all those great singers like Phyllis Hyman, they made so much more money doing commercial jingles and voiceovers than they did, you know, selling albums. And you're, you know, you're telling us about your experience in voiceover. That is important also to an actor's life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because our voices are the instrument to that character. And that is something that people seem to forget about our craft.
Right. And I plan on, and especially, again, when I was telling you about how the pandemic, how it has us not moving as much as we did prior to it. At that time to think and say, you know what, I've talked to some of my actor friends, and they said, oh, honey, we can tell you set your little studio up right at home, and you can once you do your auditions and you book it, you can still tape from home. And there's these programs that you upload, and one of my friends, a wonderful actress, her name is Maria Howe. You probably remember her from The Color Purple. She's she's the one that sings Speak. And so she and I, we connected was here in Atlanta because we both got booked on a voiceover commercial for Publix. You know, Publix. And we had to do a little singing, a little something, and it was the three of us, and that's how she and I connected years ago, and we've remained very tight. So a few months ago, she and I, we were talking, and she was saying, I'll tell you, she said, the equipment, everything you need, she said, you can turn a large enough little closet, and the closer and tighter you are, because that's the way they want it to be, almost sound proof and they're not acoustic. So I do plan on getting all that information and doing that. I mean, if I had to well, I can't stay in the if I shoulda. We got to come out of that shoulda, coulda.
Yes.
Had no. I had a doctor's appointment the other day, and I said, man, if I had known this, I could have. She said, no, we are right here. And she blessed me with that. I said, okay. She said, we are right here. And she was standing over me and just like that. I said, okay, we're right here, heading towards the future. No, I didn't say that. We're right here, right now. We're not looking back there, what you could have done. I said, you're right about that. Forgetting those things which are behind, the Bible tells us we press. We're right here. Now we take it from here and we move forward. Don't look ahead. You don't even know what's ahead. Just thank God he's got your ahead of the game up there. Everything up there. All you got to do is be open and walk in it. Walk through the door. He said he sets before us an open door. Now, I didn't say all this to her, but I'm saying it to all of you and anybody. He sets before us. In Revelations, he speaks of it, an open door. No man can close, and it's going to open for you. So when you set before you an open door, what does that mean? You have to walk through it. Some people, I don't know if that's the door. I don't know if that's the right. You're not going to know until you go through it. And once you go through it, you realize, okay, that wasn't right. Or you realize I went through that door and I met some amazing people. And I was supposed to go through that door to meet these people who get to open up the bigger door through there. So that's what you have to stop being so hesitant and fearful and worrying about what somebody going to say. Oh, you think you all that? I'm a child of the King. I am all that, number one. I'm not conceited. I'm not cocky. And when you know me, I am all that. I'm dependent on God, and I how he wants to use me. Here, my Lord, send me wherever you need me. So I'm about to step into that, and from voiceover to stage plays. I did a lot of stuff. And I'm going to get back to what you initially asked because we're running out of time. You thought you were going to need to make up for some time, but I got to.
No, this is about you. This is your time.
I so appreciate what you just said. I mean,
Can you hear me? You
Yeah.
remember something that I didn't hear? You just
I was getting ready to say I was so appreciative of what you were just saying because with our model and moving out here to LA was that door. And we stepped through that door in spite of what anybody else was saying to us about this opportunity. It's like you're in the middle of COVID and all those type of things, and you should not be doing it at this time or whatever. But we felt that need. That door was open, and we stepped through that door, and it's amazing how so much is pulling together because we stepped in that door. We put out there, like I said, we started out our conversation earlier about next interview being at Sony Studios. We've already declared that. You know what I'm saying? We've declared that this show is going to be picked up, and we're working toward it. We're working to the benefit of that because we want to have all our guests at Sony Studios here in LA, because it's time for something like that. But we had to step through that door. You know what I mean? If we never would have stepped through that door, the possibilities of meeting all of the people that are lined up for us that will bring us all together to make that happen. I'm so appreciative of you saying that. That just encouraged my heart again, our hearts again.
And we're on your stomping ground. I mean, you moved here years ago for your career, and you're originally from San Diego, which, that's how many miles away from Los Angeles? Is it
about an hour and a half, maybe.
An hour and a half? But it's just like we're almost in the path of where this is originally where you're from. So, I mean, it's just one of those things that, it's like an inspiration.
Yeah.
This is almost, this is the goal. And this was your goal then and now. And, and where you're going and still striving to go, for all of us. But did you have a question? I'm sorry, y'all.
I was going to say we got to want to do another commercial real quick, and then when we come back, I want to share how we first met with everybody. Then we'll close it out with you giving some closing remarks for our actors and then the audience. Okay. So after the commercial, we'll be right back. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
All right. Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to Truth Behind the Truth tonight with us. My wonderful dear heart, Miss Diana West. I call her Dr. Diana West. Want to mention next week as our guest will be comedian, actor Coco Brown will be with us next week on the show. Going to be an awesome show with Coco coming on with us next. We're so excited about having her on as well. But anyway, so back in tonight. So I want to talk about real quick before we let you have the closing remarks tonight to everyone about how we first met. I am so thrilled about that because I remember I was doing an actor workshop at the Christian group that's there in Atlanta. And I remember you came in, I had no idea this wonderful woman was in front of me, okay, and who she was and the inspiration about it. But I was going through, my things of teaching the class and, little exercises and what have you. She participated like she didn't know anything at all. She got involved. She was just like on top, and she followed the directions, and I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I had this one wonderful woman in front of me. So we went through, and she said, "Let me stop you just for a second." She said, "You teach like somebody I know," and I was like, "Really?" And she said, "Have you heard of Greg Allen?" I said, "Oh my God, no way!" And I trained with Greg Allen Williams, And it was, from that moment, we started hitting it off, and we spent probably the next hour after the class talking and vibing, and we just became buds after that, And I have loved her from that moment forward, Yeah, and it's just amazing how, as you said earlier, and I use that as an example, how, doorways in life opens you up to meet so many wonderful people,
right.
And how they deposit so much in your life. And in that short period of time, how our lives became a unit, you know what I'm saying? And not even learning more about you tonight and just how blessed that I am to have you a part of my life and a part of our lives at this point, and the richness that you've poured into us tonight, just even in that, I'm so grateful for our friendship. I'm so grateful that I have this, at the end of the day, especially at this point in my career and our career and where we're going with things. And, I'm just excited. I'm getting lost for words. But go ahead, Dad. I didn't mean to cut you off. You were going to say something.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, thanks for reminding me, because I knew, I mean, it feels like we've gone way back, but I didn't remember that very moment, which is what you told me that we met. And like you say, that's why you cannot burn bridges behind.
Right.
you don't, never know when that person might be your boss, the person that's giving you your next job, your next
That's true.
whatever, referring you to. So we have to be careful with the seeds that we sow
So true.
folks'
So true.
lives. So I've always said that I want to stay humble, and humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. So I'm
Yes.
one who is just constantly, it's all about, it's all about me. It's
Right.
about me, but it's all about what I can do to push you along. And sometimes my family may feel, some of my friends may feel like, girl, you do much, or they may see it as me being too critical. But sometimes a critical nature can help you to get to the next, I don't say level. Levels are notches, dimensions. I want to take you to the next dimension of your.
Yes.
So I just, again, and I have to continue, like you said, I have to continue to hone my craft. I don't care
Right.
how movies there, or how many plays, or how much stuff, or how long my credentials are. There's new stuff popping all the time.
You're so true. We said
All the
that.
time. And people that get stuck and settled in one spot right here, that's what
Right.
I stay right there, because you're not flexible for change. You're not trying to change me, but you're trying to help me to get with the program so that
Right.
I can continue to grow and go. Amen.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Today, after going through all of those, little did I know that even at the movie, the first one, Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins said, Natasha Garcia, a wonderful woman that I met, whose son played, who was in Welcome Home. Then at that time, we were both just kind of starting, kind of doing our thing.
Yes.
Fast forward, the Lord put her in my life, and she was the one that introduced me to Greg Allen when I started going. She's the one that connected me with my first agent when I didn't know that that wasn't what we were connecting for. But God opened those doors. I thought a big movie, that was great, but it was for other things. So we have to continue to not stop, to keep growing and keep going. The WB, like you said, that was a step for me. That's where I started. I worked for Jamie Kellner, who was the head of WB, and he took plucked up my family and I, because they wanted him to come to Atlanta to run Turner Broadcasting. And I was waiting for him to ask. I found out later he was nervous about asking because he thought I was going to say no. I had been with him for like almost 10 years working for him.
Oh, wow.
We got here, and then he decided he and his family didn't want to stay here anymore. He left and said if I wanted to go back, that he'd help me. But God brought me to the Peach State, the Peachy State, for another purpose. You're on an assignment, and God gives you an assignment. It may not be comfortable in the first portions of it, but he will then make it roll out smoothly and give you an answer for it. So San Diego to LA to, he says, even though all the enemies and folk around us, he said, I will prepare before you a table in the presence of your enemy. But I tell people when I preach, I'm gonna put my preaching hat up. He said he would prepare a table before you. Of your enemies. But guess what? You got up from the table too fast.
Okay.
With that said, you didn't sit there long enough to first of all see what God can do for me. You got up too fast. I
got up too fast.
Give you so much right at that table, but you got up too fast. I wanted you to go through that door because I had some stuff on the other side of that threshold, but you didn't go through the door out of fear and intimidation, low self-esteem, and all of that stuff. So I tell people to keep it moving, get up, moving towards your place of purpose.
Yes. Wow, man. Whew. Okay. Let's talk real quick about your upcoming film that's coming out. And I know we were supposed to talk about it a little bit earlier, but we've got to get that in. I want to hear about that and all that. And we'll, again, if you had a question after that, then we'll go ahead and wrap it up with her final comments from it. Go ahead and tell us about your film coming up. I think our producer's going to put the poster up real quick too as well.
About this film, and it's going to be airing on September the 30th on Amazon Prime Video. It's called The Glorias, and it stars Julie, as you can see, Julianne Moore, Alicia Vikander, amazing Janelle Monáe, and Bette Midler, and it is a wonderful film. My scenes shot in Savannah, Georgia, and I played Miss Green, and I'm just hoping and praying, as I tell everybody, you get in these movies and you hope you made the cut, and I haven't seen a rough cut, so I still would promote the movie. It's the story of Gloria Steinem's journey, and you know, she was a women's rights, she was an activist, was everything, and it was supposed to come out on the big screen, but I think can't hold it off too much longer. This is the right timing for a lot of things when we talk about in the industry. So this movie will come out on Amazon Prime Video. I'm saying to myself that I believe I will be in there because I have a wonderful scene with Alicia Vikander, who is one of the stars, and it just seems to me like y'all got to keep that scene in there. Going back and forth, and I'm saying stuff to her, and I'm being the feisty old lady that I know I can be. So please stay tuned for it, and I know you'll enjoy the movie.
Yes. Well, let us know. I mean, anything that we can do to promote it. Otherwise, you know, it's going on Amazon Prime. But from the True Crown Truth page, if you want to send more information about it, whatever, we'll definitely put it out there and keep posting it. You know, to get those residuals coming, get those people looking at that. You know, looking at it and viewing it. We'll definitely do that. We'd love to do that. Do you have a real quick question you want to ask before she gives her closing points?
Yeah. Congratulations on the movie. I can't wait to watch it. I cannot wait to watch it. But there is a particular question I want to ask. Is there a role that you would have, that you would have loved to have played, that you have seen yourself in, like any movie that has long gone and you have said, I could play that role, I could do it some justice? Is there any role that you are inspired to want to play? If there was a reboot that you were like, I'm all in.
Well, if someone were to write a movie, I would love to play a therapist.
Wow. Okay.
In either a series that has the reoccurring character who's a therapist, who is a psychiatrist, a therapist. I'd love that. Someone caught that vision a few years back. Jennifer was an executive at Up TV. He had of me because I was doing a lot of movies at that time for Up TV, and he wanted to do, and he pitched it, and he put money behind doing a pilot. And he's in New York, in our offices in New York, the ad sales, and it was called Intervention with Mama D. And in the characters, he had set up the different scenarios, and it would always come back to me where I'd have to intervene, and he was just hoping, and it was almost pretty close, but then you get some haters in there that it was haters within the company who just it happened, but it was a great concept. So that really kind of stirred something inside of me, and then there was a couple of stage play writers who have said that you would be perfect to do a one-woman show. I would love to do that. Because you have done so much stuff from your early life to middle life to now at your age, because I always tell people it ain't over till God says
it's over. That's right.
Age continue, because they're going to always need a mama, a grandmama, a aunt in these movies. So stop you're going for all the little honeys, all the little
That's true.
They got to have a mama and a grandma. So all that being said, I'd like to be with the therapist. I love the Christmas movies that we do where, with the franchise where Greg Allen Williams plays my husband, but we also are supposedly the star, I guess you'd say the stalwart to the strength between my three sisters, Victoria Rao and Crystal Wilson. They play my sisters, and then Melinda Williams and Karan.
Right.
They're the leads in great. And so a movie even like that, where there's that couple, that older senior couple that
Yes.
always there. They're always there. They're the ones that you fall on, the ones you can lean on, the ones that you know are going to be honest, and they're going to tell you the truth. You know, it hurts. They're going to give it to you.
Yes.
No chaser.
So true. So true. Wow, this has been such a rich night, and I humbly thank you, Mom. I mean, it's just, I'm for the words that you've spoken over where we're going with this, because I take that as a word from our Creator saying that stay on the path and the door that you've been open to, because you're doing things that you're supposed to be doing, and even though you have rough patches, those rough patches are perfecting what's coming out of you, because you're here for a purpose, and fulfill that purpose at the end of the day. I mean, truly. Do you have any words that you want to share with, again with the audience tonight as we bring it to the interview to a close and what have you? Do you have anything you want to share?
Just a quick word that just continue, everybody who's listening, and to the both of you, to continue to be comfortable in your skin. And I tell people that all the time. Love who you are. Don't get caught up into your troubles. Think about, when you start going through your troubles, think about how big are your troubles on a scale of 1 to God.
Wow.
And so I say to all of you to keep loving yourself and don't die full. And I tell people this. Miles Monroe said something years ago.
Yes.
You remember what I told you, Jay? And I didn't understand what that was. He was promoting a book of his back in 2001 when I was promoting my book, Get Up, Learning How to Go Through Your Mountains. In the valleys. And I said, what does that mean? Don't die full, because I want to be full of the Holy Ghost. Hallelujah. That's what it's all about.
Right.
It means you don't die full. It means that you've emptied out everything that has deposited inside of you, so that when you go to your rest, that you will have nothing left. You have taken and used everything.
Yes.
So my plan at 70, and when I step and transition when I'm 110 or more,
right there,
I want to be, when I'm laid to rest, see, that woman, she emptied out everything.
Wow. So beautiful. So beautiful. Oh my gosh. Thank you, Mama D. I mean, I am so looking forward when we all get back together, but all of us as the actors in this big Zoom that we're going to do. It's going to be powerful, honey. It is going to be so powerful. Thank you so much for taking out the time tonight to pour the wisdom, to share with us, and to our listening audience and everybody. I mean, guys, if you came in late on the show tonight, you can review it again, on the YouTube page as well as on our Facebook page. Go to Mama D's page as well, because the link will be there, for you to go back and view the show once again. We really appreciate you guys tuning in to Truth Behind the Truth tonight. This has been so awesome. I'm telling you, please go to the Truth Behind the Truth page and get your t-shirt as well. We need your shares. We need your likes. Definitely share the page as you're going forward. Tell your friends about it from our YouTube page as well as our Facebook page as well. Guys, thank you again. We'll be here again next week with Miss Coco Brown, actor comedian Coco Brown. Will be pouring her part into this actor symposium. We're loving it. And the week after that, the wonderful Chandra Corelli will be with us after Miss Coco Brown. So we've got a long list of great people that are going to be pouring into you. But tonight, I'm telling you, was just we have went to church in the actor's realm. Thank you, baby. We love you, guys. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Have a great night. Thanks for tuning in to Truth Behind It. We'll see you next week.
I think I kind of lost you for a minute. You back?